Ah, it is autumn, the greatest season of them all. Leaves turn themselves from a luscious green to a warm yellow and red. The cold wind brushes against your bare face until a rosy color shows on your chubby cheeks. Truly, nothing can get you more into this season's spirit. And if you happen to be a cosplayer, it is the time to do a lot of cosplay. With the weather getting colder and the convention season finally coming to an end, some cosplayers return to their cave to prepare for the next spring. You could view it as some kind of hibernation, but with a lot of work. Kudos to the cosplayers who cosplay in the winter. May the cosplay gods protect you from freezing to death. Yours truly also followed the call of duty and returned to her cave. Nothing really puts me more into the spirit than finally starting a cosplay that I planned since the airing of the first season of Spy X Family. It aired in spring of, this year. By the way, I'm slow. Yes, you heard right. And you probably already knew from the thumbnail alone that I plan to cosplay Yor in her adorable, iconic red dress. Oh, nope, not that one. This is another project. Finding the fabric was an endeavor on its own, let me tell you, so forgive me for taking so long. In the end, I compromised to my annoyance and decided on a mix of synthetic and organic fabric. Could be polyester and wool, but I don't care anymore. The point is, it has this beautiful knitted optic, which I was searching for, like forever. As always, I didn't use any pattern. It wasn't as difficult as you might think. Measure yourself, spread out the fabric on the table, or in my case, the ground, and think in rectangles. You have 2 big ones for your torso, 2 for the arms, and 2 for your butt. Now, I know this is not a good explanation. If someone is interested, I could provide a pattern based on my measurements. If I ever find out how this pattern making even works. Or just use some basic patterns from pattern making companies. There are a lot and they are pretty affordable. Or you could just use my method. For example, I used a dirty old shirt that I had since years and just traced everything I needed. In this case, the neckline. Trace everything with your trusting tracing wheel and tracing paper, so that you have practically 2 identical parts of every part. Now, this pattern is just possible because the fabric is stretchy, and you don't need to put any darts anywhere to highlight the figure. Keep in mind, the right fabric is always the start to a successful product. And in our case, stretchy fabric is essential. For a perfect fit, don't skip the part of trying on. No matter how well you measured, fate is a cruel mistress. She will get you when you least expect it. So, don't cut corners. Some reference pictures show stripes on the dress. F you, I forgot them. But it's not too late. So, what to do? Well, dear viewer, we will just sew some stripes in, and that's all. Pin them, sew them, and forget them. It took actually more time, but for the sake of this video and my sanity, pin them, sew them, and forget them. P.S. I don't have to tell you that you need to use the stretch stitch. If you have stretchy fabric, you need a stitch that stretches with the fabric while you do your wicked cosplay pose. Puffy sleeves. I just adore a puffed sleeve. But for the sake of this cosplay, we can't really do that. See reference picture. But who cares? I can do whatever I want, so I'm doing a puffed sleeve. First, you take your sleeve and stitch with the widest stitch you can possibly find on your sewing machine. No stretch stitch, just a basic one, along the wrist part of your sleeve. Don't secure the stitch. Second, now take one of the threads and pull on it gently. And you will see now the sleeve will puff, like so. The rest is simple. Take your puffed sleeve and connect it to the cuff that you prepared beforehand. It is just another rectangle. No witchcraft. Now let's take a little break. After a good night's sleep, there was no way I would wear such a long skirt. And so it was. The skirt, by the way, was already finished and had to be reconstructed once again. What a pain. So it happened. I shortened the skirt. I just snipped off right the thing that I already finished. 'Cause I can't live with a long skirt. Later on, I also decided, see reference, that we had to tinker once more on the backwards cardigan. That's what I'm gonna call it from now on. It didn't really had the right shape, and see reference, there are also many stripes on the end of the backwards cardigan. Big decision. I could either make my life easier or harder. By now you already know that I never make my life easier. I like to suffer. And so it was. Rinse and repeat. I took the same approach as in the case of our front stripes. Pin them, sew them, and forget them. It took a lot of time. But with that, we are almost finished. Just put a hem on everything that needs a hem. Basically, the neckline and the backside. Because, surprise, surprise, it has an open back. Just to highlight the waifu status, of course. And to seal the deal, you won't put a ring on it, but some buttons. Stay with me. There is still a long road ahead of us. You could be a genius and buy a bandeau, or you could be an overachiever and make something from scratch. I'm the later one. But luckily, I still had my trusty old shirt that I traced. Use my cheat code. Trace an old shirt. Because bandeaus don't work on me, they would hold on literally nothing. We can't have that. So we will make a shirt with sleeves. This time I've chosen the French way of sewing. Well, it's just called French seam, where you sew on the right side, then turn everything inside out and sew on the left side. Now, it sounds crazy, but trust me, try it out. I swear, it's amazing and so clean. Oh, and by the way, I got a wicked old sewing machine from eBay. I had to try it out. It works without electricity via pedal. So satisfying to work with it. Well, it is frigging one move away from full exposure. But, well, if that's what the reference tells you to do, well, it means that I'm one move away from full exposure, I guess. A new day and a new way to suffer. Finally, we reached the headpiece. Once again, you could buy something and nobody would bat an eye. Or you could be an overachiever. And yes, you guessed right. Let's go! Before we destroy the only piece of fabric that we had, we will practice on newspaper. They need to be good for something, don't they? Bless those guys that continue to ignore my wish, which is written on my postbox, that I don't want any frigging newspaper. Amen. From now on, it is pretty straightforward. We just layer some fabric and some filling and a layer of fleece for strength, and then we sew everything together. For decorations, we stitch along the rim of our headpiece, put some buttons on the sides, and get ourselves some red elastic to connect our two buttons behind our neck, and call it a day. You surely don't want to know how I styled the wig. It was a mess, as you can see. I had to steam and wash the wig because she was old, used and abused, and I'm generally bad at wig styling. But I was at least able to revive the wig. That's all that I needed for the time. It took me a full day to style, where I could have just let the hair flow openly. But at the time, I didn't think about that. And there you have it, a wonderful cosplay. In the future I plan a bigger photo shoot, but for the time being, I'm satisfied with some nice pics via smartphone. And now let's hear some last words. So, I finished the cosplay. I feel very exhausted. I feel like, ouch. But nonetheless, I had this cosplay. I finished this cosplay. I have a video to prove that now. You see? This is the video that proves that I did this cosplay. I just have like 7% of battery, so we have to wrap it up pretty fast. Verdict is still great cosplay. Leave a like, subscribe if you must. Now, if you like this video, like it, and if you like more of those kinds, I kind of do those sometime. If I'm like not dying, subscribe. Do it. It's not hurting anyone. So, smash the bell. I hope everyone liked this journey. I'm too tired to do anything, so bye. No! Look at this.
What's the cause you may think? Well, the cause is this. Yes, this little mother is empty again. Ah. Maybe I can just stand up. Oh, grit. Oh, I feel like a snail. Oh, please help me up, someone. Oh, my back. It's killing me.